welcome to another Groovy Tuesday. I know it takes a while for a few people to join the party, so I shall have a sip of coffee whilst we get started. We're not starting anything yet. So, how is everybody this morning? Welcome. Another episode of Groovy Tuesday. We're on episode 34. Who would have thought back at the beginning of the year when we started this, how we'd sort of grow and develop, and the feedback is absolutely amazing. Hopefully you can hear me. I should get the all clear. Thank you. I've just had the all clear from the lovely Jilly. Jilly said the sound is good. So hopefully you can all hear me at home. If you have any questions, Jilly's there in the room. There we go. You can see Jilly, you can see the lovely Karen, Ken, and all the lovely familiar friendly faces joining us once again for another Groovy Tuesday. So what have you all been up to the past week? Have you been crafty? Have you been getting ready for Christmas? I can't believe we're the 23rd of November already. Just think, in a month's time, it'll be approaching Christmas Eve. Ooh. Are we ready? I don't know. I don't know whether we'll ever be ready for Christmas. It just sort of comes around all of a sudden, doesn't it? So I'm sure it'll be a very different Christmas this year for a lot of people. So good morning. What's that? Hi, Paul, and all the groomers. I think, do you mean groomers, Karen? I don't know. Maybe we could turn it into a dog grooming session. So yes. So yeah, we've got another. Did you finish off your cards from last week? Did you? Do you know what? On Groovy Worldwide, it's nice to see what people come up with and how they interpret what we're just showcasing every week on Groovy Tuesday. And it's nice to see different sort of versions based on the plates that you already have in your collection. So did you finish off? Did you sort of decide on how you was going to finish off your piece that you'd created? Did you go with brads? Did you go with corner punches? Or did you go with an aperture? I finished mine off this morning because I forgot I said I would show you exactly what I did. But should we have a look at some of the bits that we looked at last week? Just different ways of sort of finishing off. So we used the lovely corner punches, the photo corners, to show how you can attach your parchment. Okay. Then we also had a look at the same corner punch, but we turned it into a border. So it shows how you can make a really nice decorative edge to your card as well. So if you want to see how that was done, then you can tune in on our YouTube page from last week to see how we created that. We also looked at using brads. Another option we looked was the using dies to create an aperture. So for me, what I did this morning, and we also looked at the clarity tape runners as well, didn't we? Depending on what color parchment you'd gone for. If you'd gone for the designer parchment, the colored parchment on your piece. So we had all these different sort of options and finishing tricks. So should we have a look and see what I did to mine in the end? I thought I wanted to keep it nice and elegant. So I went with 4 little white brads in each corner. See? And you've got that beautiful, I think this is toffee apple we went for in the end in the background. But it really does sort of give it that finishing touch, doesn't it? And I went with an 8x8 card blank. So I trimmed the paper down slightly smaller and then trimmed off the excess from the A5. So that's where we started off with the A5 parchment. So I trimmed that down to make a nice square. I could, if I'd thought about it, I could have put a nice straight frame around the outside. But I thought, you know what? Let's just go with the beautiful wreath that we created. And we use those gorgeous little Christmas trees. I don't know if did you watch the Pergamano show last week? Had great fun last week with who was I on with? I was on with Scott at 3 o'clock, and the new presenter, I've forgotten his name. It'll come back to me. And he was sort of blown away. It was the first time he'd seen Groovi in action, and he couldn't believe how easy it was to achieve some beautiful artwork just by taking the plates. And I think that's what you at home find as well. And yeah, the addiction of being able to create the beautiful artwork. So what I also showed last week, do you remember where we took that beautiful tree and I made a series of little Christmas cards? This was one that I did on TV just to show a different color option. Let me find the same one in the blue. So I did exactly the same, but don't they look different? Just by changing the color of the parchment. Richard, thank you, Carol. That's who it was. I've just seen Carol pop up at the bottom saying I was on with Richard. That's it. And thank you very much. And Josie as well. There we go. So I don't know, the brain's not what it is at the moment. It's a bit sort of cold. It's a bit fresh down in Kent today. So this was using the beautiful Shenandoah. And then this one I used, I think this was it wasn't Toscana, was it? I should really write on the back of what ones I've used. It may have been Amazonia, or it could have been Toscana. I'm not sure now. But you can see how you can create beautiful, quick little cards. And just by changing the colour of the parchment and the backing paper can really make a difference. And there's a couple of other little samples I've got here. So if you wanted to spend a little bit more time, you could. So on this one, when we look at the actual plate itself, for example, so let me just bring that in. I've got a Groovi tab right over what I want to show you. And there. So when we have a look at this one here, so that is using this design with all the little snow coming along. And then you just move it around to extend and fill the rest of the boxes. And then I used Merry Christmas from one of our other plates. So if you want to add colour, you want to add a little bit more design, then you can. This one here uses the little tree, and you can see here we've put the border on the inside, done a little bit of white work, use the hearts to infill. Let's have a look on this one. You can see a little bit more detail. So this was this one here. Okay, so you can see nice. I mean, it only takes a little bit longer than doing quick and easy one. Easy ones. Then we have this one here, using the design from the middle. So again, if you're looking for really quick and easy, then the Christmas tree plate for me is a real essential. And then I found a couple of pieces that Barb had created, or was it a couple, just the one. Found this one here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? A little bit of colour in there, a little bit of picot cutting. So you would trace out the tree first, then use the nested picot squares to pop the frame around. A little bit of design just down the side, using those beautiful brads to add some detail. Isn't that gorgeous? So you can get hours and hours of enjoyment out of the Christmas tree plate. And then also on TV, what I did was I created a little coaster. So I had a matching coaster to go with my card. So I could have used the same tree, but you can personalize it. You don't have to use the Christmas trees. Wouldn't it look lovely? Ah, look, hang on. Oh, see, I go off on a tangent, don't I? Let me put the Christmas tree somewhere safe, because I think I may need that later. You could go with the beautiful Linda's hearts. They'd look lovely in the coasters and on the Christmas tree as well. And I wonder, let's have a look. These, I love these little characters. These are brilliant. Will they fit? Yeah, you'd get a little gnome. You'd get a little gnome in the, look, you could do this one, and depending on the person's name, so it becomes a place name. Wouldn't he look fab? And then you've got the other little, the little girly one, the live good one. So you've got be good, do good, feel good, and live good. So they would work perfectly within. Let's have, I've got a pack of coasters here. Let's just have a look. So if you're looking for little sort of Christmas tree gifts or little table presents, then the coasters are fantastic for doing that. So I'm just going to take, now when you look at these coasters, you would think that somewhere, because you've got this raised edge within the inside, you think that's where you have to open them, or on the back, but they don't. They actually open on the side. So if I take my one needle bold, I'll just show you, this is the easiest way to do it. One needle bold, and you just want to get in there because they're sort of like suction. Don't want to, there we go. So once you get that in there, look, pops open. So it opens from the side, just like that. And then you take your little piece of paper and you can pop that in there. But if I have a look at this, I can use this. Look, he'd fit in there. The one in the middle would fit in there. Even the one with the big tall hat would fit in there as well. And then the lovely little live good. So that you could pop it to one side of the coaster. Maybe you'd have the menu on there for Christmas Day. Your starters, your main, your pudding. Wouldn't that be good? So the coasters are a really nice little gift to go along with your card that you're making. And it really wouldn't take too long to do it. I mean, even if you keep it simple, where's my little one gone? There it is. Oh, there it is. Just nice and simple. Could have gone with a bigger square, but by using this size Pico die, then I get 5 from a sheet. Do you remember I showed you the other week on how you can get 5 of this size square from one sheet of 8x8 designer parchment? So you've got so many different choices, and you can also do the bookmarks as well. So the gnomes, I wonder whether I don't think I've got any bookmarks to hand. I'm just trying to think from my stash behind me. I'm just perusing the shelves behind me. I had a tidy up, and as usual, you have a tidy up and you can't find anything. So maybe we'll have a look for those later. But the little gnomes, I'm sure they would fit perfectly on a little bookmark. So that's just a bit of a recap on what we did last week, some little finishing tricks, especially with the different types of ways of attaching. I mean, all of these, I've used our tape runners. Where they gone? I used our Clarity roller tapes, glue runners, to stick the parchment onto the card. And remember I said about sort of just testing a scrap of the same parchment onto the same material that you're going to use it on to see whether it shows through. Okay. So, drop of coffee. So what are we going to look at this week? I thought we'd have a look at, we'll go sort of back to basics still, but we'd have a look at doing some really easy grid work. No counting, no thinking about it. And for that, we're going to have a look. Let's pop all this to one side. And we may come back to that later. So I finished that card off. That's another Christmas card for my stash, if I can remember where I put it after the show. So I thought what we would do is we'd have a look at this beautiful A4 square plate. And it was designed by the lovely Josie Davidson. You can buy it separately, but you can also buy it with the A4 square plate mate. which sits around the outside. Look, these Groovi tabs are everywhere. Sits around, and you also get the little extender bars as well. So you can make perfect for the A4 plates. So this is what it will come to you, how it will come to you, and it's in 2 parts. And the reason we do it in 2 parts is so that it gives you more versatility and to be able to extend for your A4 plates. But you can see, let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail. If we have a look at one side. So one side is based on a diagonal pattern. Oh, there's another Groovi tab there. Look, they get everywhere, these Groovi tabs. I'll be looking for them later. So one half of the plate mate is based on a diagonal grid, and you've got all these different elements that Josie's given us. The other side is based on a straight grid. Beautiful corners, borders, extenders, just beautiful designs in general. And then we have the piece that goes in the middle, which is what we're going to look at, based on the diagonal, or some of it's on diagonal, some of it's on straight. And what do I mean by, if you're new to Groovi and sort of grid work, then you may think, oh, what is grid work? What's he going on about? Straight, diagonal. We started off many years ago with our basic grids. Okay, let's hold these up, see if we can. Okay, and these are plates that are precision drilled, and there's thousands and thousands of holes drilled in them, so they go all the way through. This one here is based on a straight grid. So all the lines go straight and straight, okay? And then we have the diagonal grid. And if you look at this one, you can see that the dots have been offset against one another. See how they sort of stick out just down the side? Hopefully it's not doing too, it's not like the Magic TV that is doing too much to your eyes. But again, these are what we call our basics. Okay, so you've got the straight and the diagonal. Now, if you wanted to create your own patterns, you can do so. You can create these patterns from these particular plates, but you've got to do all the counting. You've got to have an idea in your head exactly what pattern you want to come up with. But Josie has done all the work for you. And Josie's done a number of plates. We've got the beautiful duet plates where you can create beautiful frames, the kings, the queens. You've got the A5 square plate mate that Josie designed. Okay. And a couple of weeks ago on the Clarity Matters blog, the lovely Jane Telford created this beautiful piece of artwork. Excuse me. And on the Clarity Matters blog every Sunday, there's a step-by-step from Josie, from Glynis, Linda Williams, lots of the different design team, Hazel Edwards, and they guide you through various different plates and designs. So Jane, on the 31st of October, created this piece using the plates we're looking at today. And when you have a look at the actual pattern, if I bring in the plate itself, then I can show you where it comes from. So let's have a look. Where is it? I saw it earlier. Was it on here? Yeah, it was on here, wasn't it? I've got dots all over the place. There it is. So it's these pieces, oh, you can't really see that. So it's these pieces here that Jane's used to create the corners. And then she's extended it using other parts on the plate. So if you want to see how you can get so much use out of these particular plates, then check out the blog, claritymatters.com. I'm sure Gilly will pop the link up. But if you think, oh, I can't do it from all those different little bits and pieces. So I thought what we'd have a look at, we'd just concentrate on this plate here. because what Josie's done, she's given us 1, 2, 3 different frames instantly. So you haven't got to think about what it is you want to do. But as we all know, with the power of Groovi, we can leave bits out if we want to. So I thought what we'd do, we'd have a look, and I took the Pico dies and I cut some squares out. So this one here is the perfect size for the one in the middle. So if I bring the Groovi plate in, for example, from the Pico dies, we can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5th die will give me a beautiful Pico cut frame. Because again, you may not be into your Pico cutting yet. You may think, oh no, I can't do Pico. You don't have to. That's the beauty of these designs from Josie. You can get a beautiful piece of artwork just by embossing the dots. Okay, so you can go with that one, or you can go bigger. And then I took the 3rd largest one that will go on this one. Now this particular one sits exactly on this little row of dots across the top and down the side. So what that means is that I won't be embossing that particular line of dots. I'm going to use it as my guide for positioning. I could have gone a little bit bigger, but I didn't want to. So we can look at layers as well. We could do this on a large piece of parchment and then do our design on a Pico square to pop in the middle. We can do this particular one and then take a smaller piece and pop with our artwork on. Beautiful parchment poppets make beautiful centerpieces just in the middle. So if you haven't got a Pico square, then don't worry, because what I thought we'd do is we'll just take a piece of normal A5 parchment, okay, just to start us off. And then afterwards, you can practice on this one to start with, just to get the hang of it. And then if you think, oh yeah, I really like this pattern, or what else can I do with it? Then you may want to go back later and do another piece on a Pico square. The choice is entirely up to you. How does that sound for today? I think it'll be fun. And for me, just the embossing of the dots, you can create beautiful pieces with no skill at all. It's just the same as tracing out a design, but we're just embossing the dots. Okay, really, really simple. So for this, we're going to need the design plate. Now, if you do happen to have Josie's other one, let's have a look. I've got mine in my folder here. So this is you may have this one instead. He says when he tries to get it out of the folder. So this is the plate mate for A5 square plates. So it's just like the plate mate that comes in the starter kit. We'll do it this way so we can see. But you have this beautiful piece inside. So you may want to just keep it simple and go with one of these designs. So you've got options, okay? So you decide which one you want to go with. But I thought we'd go with the larger one just so that we can add some sort of real design to it. Okay, so we need our plate, we need a piece of parchment, we need a tumble dryer sheet. We're going to use the number 2 tool from the starter kit. There we go, number 2. And we're going to need some Groovi tabs. And I've stuck them all over the place now, so I know I've got plenty here. So I'll give you a few minutes just to get all the bits and pieces together. So Judith, I've got those plates but not really used them yet. Doing some sewing while watching. Good. I hope you'll get something from it, and even if it just gives you one idea of what to do, then job done. hopefully it'll give you a little bit of inspiration to get it out of the packet and give it a go. Okay, are we ready to rock and roll? Let me put the lid on this one needle tool. So to start off with, we're going to take our piece of parchment and we're going to wipe it with a tumble dry sheet, just like we would as if we were going to emboss a design. I'm going to line it up with the edge of the plate, and what I can do is use the dots top and bottom to make sure it's nice and straight. I'm going to attach my parchment using my Groovi tabs, and then Groovi guard. When you're looking at a plate that's got loads and loads of different dots on it, the Groovi guard is really a good way of sort of just concentrating on the design, so we can sort of focus on different areas. Okay, so we're going to take the number 2 tool, and you can start anywhere. If I come in on this one, let's see if I come in over here, and all we're going to do, if you hold the tool upright and press into the dot and give it a little wiggle, you'll get a nice crisp and even dot. Okay, and all I'm doing, you have to make sure you're using the number 2 tool, because if you use the number 1, then what will happen is it's possible that it could puncture the parchment. Okay, so this is a beautiful plate from Josie Davidson, and it has so much on it, and you can do so much on it. Now, after a while, you may think, oh, I mean, for me, I hold the tool like I would as if I'm tracing out a design. You'll still get a clean dot, but it won't be as prominent, if you know what I mean. Because when we're holding the tool upright, the whole of the ball on that tool is going into the recess of the dot. Holding it at a slight angle, although it's the same size of the ball, it's not as crisp, if that makes sense. But at the end of the day, we're just looking for the overall effect of the embossed dots. I mean, really, is someone going to have a look at it and go, oh, that's not as bright as that one? They're not, are they? They're going to look at the beautiful intricacy of the artwork. It's the overall picture, isn't it? And it's the illusion that this creates. So all I'm doing is just, see, I can talk. I don't have to count. Imagine doing this on that basic grid. Where would you start? And you'd be counting and counting. Now this part of the design has got a little circle in the middle. So I'm going to use the number 2 tool just to trace those out, because we can emboss those and have little white dots on the inside. See? And once you sort of get into the flow of it, it doesn't take that long. Not when you look at what you get out of it at the end. Okay. Are you giving this a go as well? Are you going for this frame? Or, I mean, you can see on camera how quickly it's starting to come together, can't you? Are you giving this a go, or are you trying one of the other designs? Maybe you're going for the smaller one. Yeah. See, this is just as therapeutic for me as perforating, as tracing out a design, and all I'm doing is following the pattern that Josie has given us. See? Now, if I want to, or not want to, I could ignore the design on the inside. But if I do that, I need to remember that I'm doing it on all the corners. But just to make it easy, we'll just go exactly with what Josie has done. Who at home's got these plates and given this a go already? Who's had a play with it? Judith said that she's got it and she's not really had a chance to have a play yet. Another little circle there. What do you think? See, the versatility of these plates is being able to create beautiful design, exactly as Josie's been created. But then, if you've got the basic grids, you can combine it and then do some perforating as well to add an extra element to it. I'm sure plenty of people at home watching have got the basic grids as well. Can you imagine? Where's it gone? Trying to create this design with that. It would take a lot of patience. It really would. What's that? Angie's, I've got them and not used them yet. Angie, come on, give it a go. What's that Jane say? I like mixing them up and combining the straight and the diagonal patterns. Yeah, that's a great thing, isn't it, Jane? You can, once you get confident, like with the Groovi system, you get confident and then you think, oh, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? See, we can start to see now as the design starts to build up. So we're still looking on the back. I don't want to remove it completely because I'm enjoying the process. How we do? Come over. Whee! Come back this way. There we go. So we're in the middle. If you've got the light panel, maybe the light panel's on your wish list coming up to Christmas. The light panel can make a difference as well. But for me, I just, see, I can hear my voice is slowing down as well. And it's not because I'm bored, it's because I'm in the zone of going along with the design. And just like any other Groovi plate, if there's no pattern, then I'm not going to make a mistake. Mo's got them and not used them properly though. I have next week off work, so I'll try my best to have a go. Well, definitely, Mo, definitely give it a go. Especially when you can get that beautiful lacy look. Who would have thought that a series of dots, the effect that you can get with them? See? I really would not want to be creating such an intricate pattern like this from the basic grids. No way. Why would I? Why? The basic grids have their uses, and we'll have a look at those over the next week, because we can then use the basic grids to complement these plates, because that's what they do. All of Josie's plates can be complemented by the basic grids, whether you go for the A5 square or the A4. Some people prefer the A4 one so they don't have to move their design around. But I reckon, let's have a look. See, when I come to do perforating, I'm going to have to move my parchment around to do and repositioning. But if I had the A4 ones, then I wouldn't need to do that. I could just attach my parchment in one place and then do all the perforating I wanted to. I know the A4 plates were very popular at the parchment retreat. The people that came along and did the grid work with Josie. and Hazel. So we do two different, we do a straight and a diagonal in the A4, and we do them in bold and superfine. So to work with these particular designs from Josie, then you would need the bold ones, because this design that Josie's created is based on a bold basic grid. Okay. Well, it doesn't take long, does it? And if you find that as you're going along, maybe your hand is sort of starting to ache a little bit, then remember this technique we looked at where you take the tool and you push it, you hold it between those fingers, and then you can press into the dots, and there's no pressure on your hands. It takes a little while just to get used to it, but once you do, it can become quite comfortable. I mean, there's no rule either to say that you've got to do the whole piece in one go. But it is, once you start doing this, you want to complete the frame, you really do. See, so, and I love the little, I mean, look, just even these little squares you could use as a corner. These would be great for, you know, when we was looking at my piece of artwork, this one here. So I could have put those in the little corner and then put the brad in the middle of the design. That would look nice, wouldn't it? Oh, why didn't I think of that before? Always the way. Always the way. Sometimes it can be an afterthought, can't it? But I just love not having to think and just go with the flow. See, look, nearly done one side. And that hasn't taken too long, has it? And I've been going slow so that if you're joining in at home, you don't get too lost. But you know what? You can't really get lost with this, can you? Because, as I say, Josie has done it all for us. And we can pick it up and pop it down whenever we want. So what else have I got to tell you this week? Let's see. See if I can do this and read my notes that I've got in front of me. So, did you enjoy the pajama party on Friday night with the good, be good, do good, feel good? The little gnomes. I love those gnomes. See, these will be perfect within this frame. So yeah, we had fun in the pajama party, didn't we, on Friday with Barb? If you missed that, you can catch that on our YouTube page. Because everything we do when we broadcast live on Facebook or on YouTube is always available to go back and watch again and again on our YouTube channel. So we had that on Friday. Then yesterday saw the start of the Barbara's Blog Blitz in the lead up to, dare I say, Grey Friday, this Friday. I know you're all eager to see what's coming up. So today's day 2. Beautiful alcohol inks, re-inkers. Yeah, some nice stuff on special offer today. Then what else have we got this week? So the Blog Blitz continues this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then the big event kicks off on Friday. Thursday, we're back in the Shack with Barb at 10 o'clock. Same place, same time, same lovely lady. For some reason, I just thought of that. I don't know why. I just thought of the that chocolate advert, or was it a drink? Time, there's a place. No, it was the martini advert, wasn't it? There was an old advert. There's a time, there's a place, there's martini, or something like that. Oh dear, I'm talking gobbledygook now. So, yep, so we're back in the Shack with Barb on Thursday. Then Thursday afternoon, we both hot-foot it up to Hochanda or the craft store to set up for Barb's got Mixed Media Friday on Friday at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And I know she'll have some fantastic demos lined up for those 2 hours. So it's the Shack at 10 on Thursday, and then the craft store on Friday at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. I'll be up in the studio with Barb. So we're going to have a jolly to Peterborough. What more would you want to do on a nice Friday? You know what? It's great up at the TV studios. It's so friendly and welcoming. It is being part of the family. So, well, I'm saying it's not here, friendly and happy. Of course it is. But you know what I mean. See, can't believe we've nearly done 2 sides. Well, I've nearly done 2 sides. How are you getting on Friday? How are you getting on Friday? Stop reading. I'm reading and seeing the comments, and I'm talking about what I'm reading. How are you getting on? Have you got as far as me yet? Or are you still sort of on that one side? Do you know what? There's no rush. You've got the whole week to finish it off. I'm using the clear parchment because I think it's better for camera. But you could use the beautiful designer parchment or the coloured parchment or the rainbow parchment. That would be beautiful, wouldn't it? What did Jane use on hers? I think Jane on her piece, yeah, she just used the beautiful clear parchment. And then she took some cherry green butterflies as her focal point. Beautiful. It creates a really nice frame for whatever you want to pop in the middle. Okay. So, yeah, you've got choices. And then look, we can see the little brads where Jane's attached it. But don't they look like the embossed dots within the design? See, if you didn't know those little brads were there, you wouldn't notice, would you? So let's turn this round. But look, only a little bit more to do. And it doesn't take long, does it? So yeah. So let's turn it around and we'll just chill out, get in the groove, so to speak, and then just go with the flow or go with the design that Josie's given us. But even in these little areas here, you could add some extra bits as well. Linda's shown us before in the past where I think Josie has as well, where the little dots, you could join them up by sort of tracing like little stripes using the 1 needle fine to give the effect of faux stitching. I showed that on Craft Store on Thursday. I think it was in the 3 o'clock show. I was looking at the lovely Tina's embroidery plates. See, that's another addiction, the embroidery plates. Crossing over 2 very traditional crafts, embroidery and parchment craft. And on the Clarity Matters blog, not Sunday just gone, I think it was the Sunday before, Glynis was showing us how we could embroider just corners of our artwork. So just taking part of a design, and you could then use that that's another way of attaching your parchment to your card, creating beautiful decorative corners with the embroidery plates. Because back in the day, traditionally, parchment was attached using sewing, wasn't it? Linda again has shown us that in one of the lessons, where it's down the spine. I think is it like called a bookbinding stitch, where you stitch down the edge of the card using like that invisible thread or white thread, depending on the color of your parchment. So many different options. Really is. So what have you got planned for the week ahead? I'll try and read as I carry on embossing. Anything nice planned? Or is it the usual sort of trip to the supermarket, doing the essentials, staying home and crafting? Go on, share with me what you're up to this week. Or not just with me, with everybody else that's in the room. Don't be shy. I just love this. I really, really do. Because once we're finished, we're going to have a beautiful piece of artwork which we can use exactly how it comes, or we can enhance it by using the basic grids to add some perforating. And just because we add perforating doesn't mean that we have to do any picot cutting. So let's see what I can see. So Mo's working. Jane's writing her Christmas cards. See, she can write her Christmas cards now because she doesn't need to make mine for me, because I've already made a start, haven't I, with my little Christmas trees. What else we got? Jane's also working on a couple of secret projects. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. What else have we got? Dawn's staying home and crafting. What else have we got? Constance has nothing planned, just taking it as it comes, each day as it comes. So I think that sometimes that's good to be able to do that. For me, see, I need to plan. I go, it's weird if I don't know what I'm going to do for the day, even if it's just right, I'm going to sit and veg out and watch TV all day. I need to have a plan in my head on what I'm going to do. What else is people up to? Sue's making Christmas cards for the church Winter Wonderland. Oh, lovely. That sounds fun. Winter Wonderland. Very nice. What else have we got? They're just flying past. So, excuse me. So, Andrea, well, here in the States, it will be Thanksgiving on Thursday. So, plenty of turkey and stuffing and cranberry sauce. Good. Of course, yeah. Thanksgiving. I mean, that was sort of, yeah. I forget that we have people tuning in from all over the world. And obviously, yeah, Thanksgiving this week. I think sometimes it gets commercialized, doesn't it? So same with Christmas, and I think we forget what it's all about. And so I'm not going to get deep and meaningful on you, but I think a lot of people now just automatically associate Black Friday. I think they forget about Thanksgiving, don't they? What else is everybody else up? Christmas tree plates for charity, colouring my gnome crackers. Next week, a trip to the Christmas market in York. Oh, that sounds fun, Chrissy. Can't remember the last time I went to a Christmas market. They used to have one in Tunbridge Wells. I wonder whether it's on this year. Maybe just go for a wander if they do, and just sort of change of scene, so to speak. Depends how cold it is. But I suppose if it's a Christmas market, you want it to be cold, don't you? To give you that sort of atmosphere. I think I heard on the news last night that in certain places they were forecasting snow this week. No, we don't want any snow yet. No, I don't anyway. I love snow if I haven't got to go out in it. Or because I'm an early bird, if it's been snowing overnight, I'm normally the first one out on the roads driving in it. That's quite nice. It's sort of like the untouched, isn't it? What else are you all up to? Making Christmas cards. Yep, got that one. Jackie, snow forecast here on Saturday. Hope it's changed by then. Where are you, Jackie? Remind me. Where are they forecasting snow for on Saturday? Are you in Scotland? Scotland always seems to get it, don't they? So, Scotland and up north normally. They tend to get their snow first before it comes down south. Oxford. Wow, you're not that far north. Wow, okay, I didn't realise it was forecast as low in the UK as that. Oh dear. But you know what? With the weather, it changes so quickly, doesn't it? I've heard them sort of say, "Oh, it's gonna snow," and then all of a sudden it's sort of like a little flurry and it's gone. Yeah, it doesn't last long, which is nice. If you get a little sort of a flurry of snow, just so you can see the white stuff coming out of the sky, I think that's quite nice. And on the hills and in the distance, that's lovely. But yeah. Anyone else got snow forecast? Let's have a look. Jane doesn't want snow yet. Eileen, hello from Norway. Hope to get some Christmas cards done and get ready for our Christmas fair this weekend. Very nice. Very nice. See, it is that time of year, isn't it? With Christmas fairs, Christmas fetes coming up. Do they still do them in the schools? I was listening to, was it the radio or the TV last night or this morning? I can't remember, about Christmas, the children's school plays, how parents still can't, some schools, they still don't allow parents to go in to watch the plays. They have to stream it, which I suppose in a way I understand, but I suppose it must be strange for the children. But it's a lot different this year than it was last year, wasn't it? Right. Are we ready for the big reveal? Because I think I've joined up. What do you reckon? Ta-da! There we go. Look at that. It didn't take long, really, did it? Let's take it off and have a look and admire what we've created. Let's take the Groovi tabs off. Isn't that marvelous? Isn't that marvelous, she says. There we go. Look. Think of all the things that you could just pop on the inside of that. You don't need to do anything else to it at all if you don't want to. And that's what I love about the sort of, especially the Groovi system, about being able to pick and choose the elements that you want to. And as I say, Josie has done all the hard work for us to create this beautiful piece of artwork. See, if I wanted to now, okay, here's a thought. Let me get my Nested Pico square dies. So if I wanted to now, I could, let's have a look. take this one. Right, that one's a bit too big. The next one down, I reckon that one would work. So if I wanted to, I could picot cut, because it won't damage the embossed whitework at all. So let's see if this one will go. That's a little bit too big. Let's try the next one down. See, I reckon that would work. So what I could do is I could position that exactly where I want it to be. So let's have a look. So I'd have to really look at the pattern and the design so it was equal. And you know what, it wouldn't matter if it just chopped off a little bit of the design around the outside. So if I wanted, I could picot cut now and create a beautiful frame, and I wouldn't need to do any perforating. I wouldn't need to do no perforating or no picot cutting. Again, if I take the plate, let's have a look. So I could take the plate, give me the same type of effect just to sort of see. Yeah, so I could line that up. So that one there definitely fits perfectly. So that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th from the middle, which I know because that's this one I've cut out here. So I could just take that now with a little bit of artwork on there and pop that in the middle. And then I could just use a craft knife or a paper trimmer just to keep that nice and straight. If I'd done it on a larger piece of parchment, onto an A4 piece or onto a piece of 8x8 designer, then I could have a bigger frame around the outside. So it's giving you choices. And as I say, you may want to cut your piece out first. I mean, I'm just doing this just to show some different options. Where's that larger piece of parchment? If I lay that on top, just like that, see, it would just remove, see this little, let me come in on this one. See this, where am I going? Let's hold it up maybe. See this single line of little dots that just stick out in the middle? All it would do would chop off those dots. Okay, game time now. Can you see what dot I've missed? I've missed a dot. Go on, I'll hold it there for a minute or two. See if you can see where I've missed a dot. It's in that top area and it's over this side. See? Can you see it? Look, just there. See how I've missed a dot? Well, that's all right. I just bring the plate back into play. Where's my plate gone? Line it back up. It says. And there, I've got my little dot. Isn't it funny how you go through? I mean, you could check before you take it off, but sometimes it's not until it's on that background that you look at it and you think, oh yeah, I missed a little dot. But would anybody else have seen it? What do you reckon? If I'd made a card and sent you that card, would you have had a look at it and go, oh, not very good, he's missed a dot? I don't think you would you? Because at the end of the day, you're just looking at the overall effect. So I think what we can do now is we can decide on our frame, whether we go with the frame that I've used today. If you think, oh no, I don't want to do anything as big, then on the plate, maybe go with the smaller one in the middle, just as sort of like a warm-up exercise. And if you have the picot dies, then why not cut the picot piece first And then, because I reckon, where have they gone? Hang on. I reckon, what does he reckon? I'm trying not to bring it into camera so I don't give the surprise away. I reckon, look, coaster. Wouldn't that be pretty? That'd be a lovely Christmas or birthday present. Yes. That would be nice, especially on the, look, we can see here, that fits perfectly within there. I wonder whether, I think the next one up would be a little bit too big. Let's have a look. The next one. Yeah, the next one up would definitely be too big. But this one, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one from the middle, is perfect for that. And the one that we used for the lovely little Christmas tree was the next size down. Where's my little coaster gone? There we go. So that's the fourth one, and this is the fifth one from the middle. So you have your choices, don't you? So yeah, I can't believe that hour's gone. So next week when we come back, I thought what we'd do is we'll do a little bit of perforating. We don't necessarily have to do any picot cutting. So don't panic and think, oh, I can't picot cut. I don't know where to start. We'll have a look at that. We really will. And then we'll just have some options. But if you don't want to do anything else to it, then maybe think about a design you'd like to pop in the middle. Whether it be a Christmas tree, whether you're still making your Christmas cards, or you've got a special birthday coming up or an anniversary, then I think we'll go with this. So for next week, we will need our basic grid. So we need the straight one. If you've got the A4 one, perfect. But if you haven't, the A5 square or the A6 square, if you've only got the little set. And I think we'll continue our journey with the hearts and the Christmas trees or the little gnomes, because I think all of these will work fantastically. Look, the little gnomes, they work great in there. Whatever plate you've got to pop in the middle, flowers, whatever you want to do, just bring a design to the party, and we'll have a look at that. But we probably won't get to that because we'll probably do some perforating, but we can see how the time goes. So thank you for joining me once again this week. So on Thursday is the Shack with Barb, and then Barb's on the craft store at 9 AM and 1 PM on Friday. So I'll be in the room with you on Thursday. So if you've got any questions, whatever, then ask away. Thank you, Jilly, for helping out and posting up all the links. Thank you at home for joining me. And I'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of Groovi Tuesday. Take care and stay safe, everyone. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.